I want to give you a Greek word. The word is kazon. The word kazon means visions or dreams. Proverbs 29:18 tells us that where there is no vision, the people perish. They run without restraint. They are carried in all kinds of different directions. January 16th, we celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. Obviously, he was a man with a great vision and a great dream. Dr. King gave a great speech, I Have a Dream, on August 28, 1963, at the Lincoln Monument in Washington, D.C. And we're living in a time of very high racial tensions in this nation. But I want to draw some thoughts from Dr. King's speech on that day. Number one, I want us to understand that he was one man with one voice, with one dream. And when he stood at that feeble microphone, and he stood there with a booming voice in that microphone, who would have thought that that one man with one voice, one vision, and one dream, who would have thought that he would change the course of this nation? You see, because of his vision and his dream, Massachusetts celebrated its first black governor. We celebrated as a nation 8 years ago our first black president. My question to you today is, what vision or what dream has God given you? And you need to know that God wants to give you a dream. God wants to give you a vision. God wants to use you in a mighty way. God wants to use you to make a difference. Sir Francis Drake prayed this powerful prayer. He said, "Disturb us, O Lord, when we are too well pleased with ourselves, when our dreams have come true, because we have dreamed too little, when we have arrived safely, because we have sailed too close to the shore." That is my prayer for you. That's my prayer for me, that God would disturb us, that he would disturb us and give us visions and dreams, things that are bigger than us. The second thought that I want to leave with you concerning Dr. King's speech. See, we have come a long way since that day when he gave that great speech, but yet we're still too far away from the dream. As I stated in my book on racism in the church, we need to understand that racism is not just a black and white issue, that it's a people issue, and that it is also a spiritual issue. And as the church, we must lead the charge. We must rise up as Christians, and we must be those people who raise the standard against the spirit of racism. Not merely doing it once a year at the celebration of Dr. King's birthday, but that we must continually fight the good fight of faith until victory is won. I want to challenge you to do two things in the next 28 days. Number one, that you would ask God to give you a vision and to give you a dream. And if you already have one, maybe you need to ask God to rekindle that vision or that dream on the inside of you. The second thing that I want to ask you to do is to ask God to give you the ability to say, racism is an issue, but how can I be a part of the solution? How can I be a part of that answer? You need to understand that the Bible is true. 1 Corinthians 2:9 says that your eye has not seen, your ear has not heard all that God has prepared for those that love him. I want to close by telling you this story. A little girl, a little white girl, was sent to a segregated school during the times of segregation. They were trying to desegregate the schools, and they sent her to this school that was populated by mostly black students. She sat down at her desk, and her mother spent the whole day fretting, wondering, what is my daughter going through? When her daughter came home, she asked her the question. She said, well, how did it go? And fearing a bad answer, the daughter said, well, Mom, you wouldn't believe it. They sat me down right next to a little black girl. The mother apprehensively asked the question, well, what happened? What did you do? She said, we just sat there and held hands all day long because we were both so scared. That tells me this, that number one, we have more in common than we have differences. And secondly, we can get along if we really want to. God bless you.